Night Drive is a terrifying, harrowing and visceral experience. It's a journey into the dark heart of the African bushveld. This film is going to grab you, it's going to shake you, and just when you think it's safe to relax and breathe, it's going to grab you again and shake you. This is a film that's going to linger on in your mind long after you've watched it.
We were sitting, us as Film Factory, we were sitting in a brainstorming meeting the one day, and we had just finished Bakak. We were planning our next slate of films, and we decided that we needed to do something different. It's working in a genre which is generally very well supported, but in South Africa to make an English language film is a very tricky thing. So we had to plan for this film to go international from the word go. It's luckily conceptually strong enough to travel, and that is why we picked this film, is that it's a truly South African story set in a truly South African setting that has universal appeal.
Our first day on set, by about 10 o'clock in the morning, once everybody's kind of had breakfast and we've double checked everything on set, Sia and I and James were kind of walking around, twiddling our thumbs, not quite knowing what to do. And we all stopped and we looked at each other, and it was fantastic because all of us just exhaled and we said, we've done a good job. We actually got an incredible team all together that wants to be here, is completely passionate and completely competent. So as producers, we could literally stand back, make sure that everyone had what they needed, they did, and we could enjoy the process of watching magic happen.
We didn't want to make yet another monster movie. We didn't want to make a film with killer lion or mutated bush babies, or we wanted to do something different. And that's when Justin came to the table with the concept of the biggest monster is man, so why don't we make our antagonists human?
Well, originally Sia had approached me with the concept of a group of tourists going into the bushveld on a safari, and then things just go dramatically wrong. And we looked at ways in which we could build on that story. And I thought back to an earlier film that Sia and I had worked on together back in film school, where I did some research about poachers. The article that I'd come across dated back to 1998 already. And essentially what it involved was poachers had now been hunting people for muti. The story about that was there was a game ranger that was the head of an anti-poaching unit in the Kruger National Park. And when him and his unit came across this hut, there was this very pungent smell that was coming from the hut. But once they entered the hut, they uncovered the floorboards, opened cupboards, and they found pieces of human remains, bones. A few days later, they caught up with a poacher, and he spilled the beans that they are now in the business of hunting people for muti. One often associates poachers with, you know, a man that goes into the bush with a spear to hunt meat for the pot. But essentially what's happening now is that poachers are organized criminal syndicates. These guys are well armed, they well orchestrated, and they attack with military precision.
The script writing process is a very, very interesting process, especially when you work with somebody like Justin, who gets obsessed, which is absolutely what you want from a script writer. You go with it and you explore it, and inevitably you end up on some wild tangent. But on that journey, on that tangent, comes incredible ideas. When you pull it all back together, you stuck with these little gems throughout your story.
You know, Sia and I had numerous meetings about developing the script and the characters. and you know, he gave me a lot of input in that regard. I'd say especially with kind of balancing the more aggressive side of the tourists, such as Ian, for example, with Roger and Mary, which I think creates a very nice contrast in terms of those characters. It was very, very exciting working with an ensemble piece and working with so many different characters, and they all have their own complexities and vulnerabilities and weaknesses. And then you have characters that are there because they want to experience Africa and the romanticized notion of the safari experience.
Taking this romanticized version of Africa, you know, the beautiful safaris and the amazing sunset, and turning that on its head.
Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Man, what's that smell?
It ain't me.
No, really, it smells like something died.
Let us show you how brutal and how harsh Africa can truly be.
The heart of the story is the lead character, Sean Darwin, and he's an ex-cop, which he joins the group on the night drive safari at the wishes of his mother, because she had asked him to scatter ashes in Mafanyani River once she had passed away.
We got our dream cast on Night Drive. We got Chris Beasley, we got Robert Whitehead, we got Greg Morphle-Smith, we got Corinne du Toit, we got Brandon Orette, we got Yul Masateng. People you watch, you grow up watching, and we literally just asked them, and they read for us, and they were fantastic. And I think that they were keen to make something that was out of the box and something that people haven't seen on South African cinemas before.
Like an undercover cop in the world.
Job, somebody's got to do it.
And it was just something that I immediately identified with. I knew I could play this guy, I wanted to play him, and it was such a nice crossover to have that somebody who has that bushy element to them and who's still street smart and city smart. So yeah, I got Sean immediately. It was just a click. I wanted to play him straight off the bat. People always say, how similar are you to the character? Well, if you're not similar, what are you going to bring to this guy? You've got to find parts of you that are similar, and I think this just happened to be a role where there were huge chunks that were really well aligned. I love working with people who can bring input. I think it moves me forward. It gives help and direction to other actors, and particularly if you've got intelligent people.
Corinne has the uncanny ability to look gorgeous even though she's covered in fake blood. But by the same token, as an actress, you know, I'd describe her as a perfectionist. She really just wants to deliver. There could have been the potential for Karen to come across as a victim, but Corinne has a strength and a vulnerability which Karen needed.
Well, I read the script, and firstly, this is something that I've never done before. There was a lot of physical things and the action sequences and stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is something different. This is something I haven't done before. Glad I did. I loved every minute of it.
With Brandon, you know, he's so totally opposite to the Ian character. Brandon is very laid back. He's got a great sense of humor. And I think the important thing was that Brandon didn't judge his character, and he played him unapologetically.
It took me a while to identify with this character until I understood the essence of where he was coming from, because on reading the script, just the words on the pages, he came across as just a real idiot.
So what are the chances of us seeing a kill on this night drive of yours, Ranger Jack?
And I thought, okay, well, he's the idiot in the movie, you know, he's the guy that people are going to dislike because of the way he is. And Ian's very arrogant and very in your face. He's coked up, he's pretty aggressive, he's got a bad attitude, he's got an incredibly gentle wife. And they've gone on this night drive, and they've now decided that, you know, they're going to go on this night drive and they're going to have fun and whatever. It's amazing to see that it's not just a horror movie. It's got amazing characters, and every character has something happening, all of them. The old fogies, the black couple. our couple, Yoel's character, they all are so beautifully constructed.
Jack Darwin is a ex-army boy, most likely 3-2 battalion. And he's a guy that's carrying quite a bit of baggage. He's also the father of Sean Darwin, the hero in the movie. There's a very interesting relationship between the two of them, or there's not much in terms of communication that's happened between the two of them. Jack's a tough outdoors guy. He's really good at killing people, handling himself in the bush, all of that kind of stuff, but not that good at the stuff that goes on inside.